Right, hi guys, Zaheer Anwari here on behalf of the dynamictrader.com. Can I get a quick hello that you can hear me and you can see my screen as well? Inside the pink lines, it's a consolidating market when I stand aside, or if it's in trend, I reduce my risk. So above 2%, below 2%, inside the pink lines, less than 2%. Weekly and the daily is where I look for a trend direction and alignment. So for a bearish trend and alignment, I'm looking for price to be below the 200 and the trend filter to be red on the weekly, below the 200 and the trend filter to be red on the daily. In a bullish market, I want to be above the 200 and the trend filter to be green on the weekly, and above the 200 moving average and the trend filter to be green on the daily. If I don't have that combination, I stand aside. Sometimes I look for a pullback. So if the trend filter is red on the weekly but green on the daily, that could potentially be setting up for a pullback opportunity. Okay, so if we look at the pound dollar below the pink line, so we have a bearish bias. So I was short on this for several weeks, made good profit, and then the pullback just after the US election stopped me out for good profit. If we look on the weekly, below the weekly 200, trend filter is red. Here is the pullback that stopped me out. And if you look at the daily, below the daily 200, trend filter is now green. So when I entered, it was just below 1.4. So this was the move of Brexit. On the day of Brexit, when price broke below 1.4, that's when I entered a short position. And it then went on to weaken all the way through to 1.2. It then went into a bit of consolidation. The result of the US elections came out and price then went into this pullback, and I was stopped out somewhere around this region here. So not bad profit, not the best of profit. I have been in trends for much longer. There was this long period of consolidation to deal with. Now this consolidation is highly unsurprising. The reason for that is if you look at the months, these are the summer months: June, July, August. In summer, people are on holiday. That includes the market makers. The movement to price is very much seasonal, and this is something that people fail to embrace. If you're day trading over the summer months, you're actually day trading at a time where it's very difficult to make money because the big dogs are on holiday. So if the big dogs are on holiday, you want to be taking a holiday. Consolidation. And then look at this. September, when people start coming back, trend. Now, ideally, what we wanted to have seen was a break below this pivot support and a continuation. If the US elections weren't this year, then there is a very good chance that this trend would have just continued. But because of the result of the US elections, there's a correction. Now, this isn't the end of the trend just as yet. Be aware of that. This is simply a period of consolidation. The overall bias is still bearish. Below the pink lines, below the weekly 200, trend filter is red. Below the daily 200, trend filter is green. This is just one factor that is telling us a bullish trend. Overall, this is bearish. So this is where we now need to apply caution. We need to stand aside. What I'm looking for is price to break through this support level. Once price breaks and closes below this support level and the round number 1.2, I will then start looking for shorting opportunities. This has found a level of resistance at this previous support. So very clearly showing you how support and resistance levels are very, very significant. We had a pullback pretty much bang on to this resistance level, which was a previous support. It's failed at this level, and we're now starting to see a bit of weakness. But because of this consolidation, this is a messy area. This is not something that I want to be getting involved in. A break and a close below this pivot support, and I will look for shorts. Okay, so let's have a look at the other pound currencies just to get a general idea of what is happening. So if the pound dollar is in some sort of consolidation, then you can be pretty much guaranteed that all the other pound currencies will be doing something very similar. So bearish bias on the pound Aussie dollar below the pink lines. We've had a pullback towards this support level. So again, highly unsurprising where it's pulled back to. What we're now looking for is this level to hold strong and for further weakness to the downside. Below the weekly 200, trend filter is red. Below the daily 200, trend filter is green. Look at where it pulled back to, round number 1.7. And it's now consolidating, it's finding a little bit of comfort around 1.7. We want this whole level, this whole support zone, which is now a resistance zone. We want this whole level to hold strong and for price to break to the downside. But until it clears this low point, I'm not interested in taking any short positions. Patience for now. A currency that I am short on is the pound New Zealand dollar. So let's have a look at why. The reason why I'm short on it is because it broke through the all-time low and it came back to retest it. So if I just open up the charts, you can see it broke through the all-time low. We had a pullback to retest that level. We're now seeing indecision. What I'd like to see is a bounce to the downside. So I am short on the pound New Zealand dollar. It's just moving in and out of profit, not really doing anything. Below the 200, trend filter is red. And if you look at the weekly, if you look at the daily, below the daily 200, trend filter is green. So this is where I entered. Price was in a trend. We had a pullback towards this whole resistance zone, previous support, and we can see since then it's just been consolidating. Now this is part and parcel of trading. There's positives and negatives to trading breakouts, and there's positive and negatives to trading pullbacks. So what is the positive to trading breakouts? Well, first, it confirms the trend. Each time the currency breaks out, it confirms the trend, and you've got more chance of a continuation. What is the downside? Well, the downside is that you would probably make less profit with a breakout than you would trading a pullback. However, breakouts are more versatile. What that means is you'll use breakouts in all market conditions. Pullbacks can only be used in specific market conditions. You want to get away from what the internet is telling you. The internet pretty much tells you trade pullbacks because you'll make more money. But to trade pullbacks, you've got to have more experience in understanding price action. You've got to understand what makes a good pullback level. Not everything is a pullback. Not everything that pulls back is tradable. So you've got to question what is a good pullback and is it beneficial to trade every time a currency pulls back? The answer is no. You want currencies to pull back to good levels. So, but what is the flip side to that? Trading pullbacks, positive, you make more money compared to a breakout. The downside is it a pullback or is it going to continue against me into a trend reversal? And if I do get triggered into the trade, will I get stuck in consolidation? This is a good example of where I got triggered into a pullback trade. And since then, I've just been stuck in consolidation, in and out of profit. Now, my risk tied up is only 0.5%. Trading is all about risk to reward. My risk is 0.5%, but the reward, if this works out in my favor, is going to be far greater, especially when I start compounding. What I need to do is allow patience to allow this to develop. Remember, a trend is a function of time. If you eliminate time, you eliminate the trend. And if you eliminate the trend, you eliminate profit. A trend is a function of time. To highlight this, let's think about fashion. Fashion is seasonal. Minimum time, the minimum time for something to stay in fashion is 3 months. It's not 5 minutes, it's not 1 hour, it's 3 months. If you've spent £2,000 on a nice pair of shoes or a handbag or a suit or whatever it is that you like, if you spent £2,000 and then an hour later you were told your item of clothing is out of fashion, you're not going to be too happy. You want to view trading in the same way. If you're in and out of trades within minutes, you want to question that. Are you making the most of what the market can offer you? So, think of long-term trends. Yes, I get the idea that trends appear on lower time frames, but again, going back to what I was saying, just because we have lower time frames available to us, does it mean you have to use them? The answer is no. We want to use proven techniques. We want to use the techniques that have been around from before the internet. The only advantage that we have, which is a massive advantage, is that we have software. Old school traders drew everything by hand. Charts were drawn by hand. We don't need to do that anymore. But that doesn't mean that we reinvent the wheel. We don't reinvent the wheel. The wheel is already in motion. We need to understand how the wheel works and put it into practice. So pound New Zealand dollar, I'm short. I'm looking for weakness to the downside. I'm looking for a break and a close below this pivot support, and then I'll start compounding. If it reverses, I've got a stop loss in play, and I'm only going to lose 0.5%. And people will then be thinking, well, you've been in this trade for a long time, you haven't made any money, it must be really frustrating. Guys, at the same time, I've been in NVIDIA, which is a stock. I've been in this trade since $40. This is what trading's about. It's about managing a portfolio. Whatever's happening next in the market is beyond my control. So once I entered into the pound New Zealand dollar, at the time of entry, it was a good trade. Remember, a good trade is one where you follow your trading plan regardless of the outcome. I was not to know that when I got triggered into that trade that the pound New Zealand dollar was going to consolidation. I was not to know that. I could simply focus on my downside, make sure that I don't lose more than 2% per trade, make sure I have well-placed stop losses, make sure I'm only trading in the right environment, so high probability setups, make sure I'm trading the right instruments, knowing where the money is. I then find an entry point, I allocate risk, I let the trade play out. If it works out in my favor, I compound and I manage with my exits. If it goes against me, I have my stop loss. It's a small loss. It's simple, it's unemotional, it's mechanical, it's slow, it's methodical, but through compounding, it's powerful. This has been in play. My positions, I've got multiple positions running across this trend that have been in place since $40. And this has grown my account by significant percentage growth, significant. More than any currency that has given me this year. This stock has been my best performing instrument of the year. Okay, a currency that I am in that is looking interesting, but still early days, is the US dollar Turkish lira. Long period of consolidation, breakout in 2013 at the round number 2. Price then moved towards 3, went into a consolidation. We've had a breakout, and this is now looking to move towards 4. Above the weekly 200, trend filter is green. Above the daily 200, trend filter is green. We have alignment across the board. Now, going back to what I was saying earlier, patience and allowing a trend to develop, here is a perfect example. You can see that this is handing out good profit. Since it's broken out of this consolidation where we've started entering long positions, this has moved to the upside, handing out good profit. But after every move, there has to be some kind of correction. This is what is known as tree shaking. This is where the market, the institutions move the market against you to trigger your stop losses and then move the market in your favor. That's why you need to have wide stop losses, so you don't get tree shaken out. Look at what's happening now, a correction to the upside. Look at where price came to. Price came to a support zone. It failed at this level. We had a bounce to the upside, and we're now seeing price move back up. What we want to see is price clear this high. A break and a close above this high point, and I will start compounding. I'm going to add more positions. Simple, straightforward. So US dollar Turkish lira is something that I'm in. If you're not in it, you want to wait for price to break a close above that resistance and then start looking for long opportunities. US dollar Swedish krona. I was long on this here. Good profits back in 2014. After every move, the market consolidates. What we're looking for is a breakout. Breakout to the upside is what we anticipated because of the trend prior. But there is this resistance from 2009 that we need to see price clear. If it clears that, guys, then we've got the run all the way up to 11, which is the high of 2001. Above the weekly 200, trend filter is green. If we look at the daily, above the daily 200, trend filter is green. Look at where it failed. Pull back to the round number 9. Found support. We've had a bounce back up, and we're now seeing further strength. This is one to keep an eye out on, because if this breaks above this high point, then we can start looking for long opportunities. I'm not in this as yet, but this is definitely on my watch list. Usually what you then see is the euro dollar doing the opposite. So the euro dollar is inversely correlated to the Swedish krona. So the Swedish krona is going up, the euro dollar is going down. The last time I traded the euro dollar was this period here, from 1.4 to 1.1. Very profitable trend. I extracted almost 16,000 pips across multiple positions. After every move, the market consolidates, and we're now seeing weakness to the downside. Guys, look at what's happening. Now, the euro dollar is something that everyone trades because we hear that the euro dollar is the most heavily traded currency, etc., etc. But if most people trade the euro dollar and most people fail, what does that tell you about always trading the euro dollar? You want to trade the euro dollar or only when it's in trend, not when it's in consolidation. Here is the consolidation. But look at what's happening. We're now starting to see weakness to the downside. If it breaks out of this support, which it looks like it's potentially doing, then we could see price move towards 1, 0.9, 0.8. Those are the levels. Weekly, below the weekly 200, trend filter is red. Daily, below the daily 200, trend filter is red. We had the Italian referendum last weekend, I believe, and look at what happened. Move against the trend, but look, it's temporary. There was so much noise and so much talk about the Italian referendum and the impact it was going to have on the euro, etc., etc. It was just noise, guys. The long-term trend is far more powerful than any fundamentals that are coming out, and this is proof. We had this move, correction. The market is now heading back down in the direction of the long-term trend. I will be looking to take shorting positions once price clears this support level, and it looks that may potentially happen. Okay, and the last currency we'll have a look at is the US dollar Japanese yen. Okay, US dollar Japanese yen, guys. Interesting. We've had a total reversal in trend. It's trading through the pink lines. So this is where I will be looking to place trades at reduced risk. Above the weekly 200, trend filter is green. Above the daily 200, trend filter is green. Long positions already in play. Long positions already in play. I'm now looking to compound into this. Okay, I'm conscious of the time. I'm going to end the webinar here. Just to direct you guys to a few of my social media sites. If you want to have training and join the community, if you want to take your trading to the next stage, if you're tired of day trading and everything else that I mentioned, and you're looking for a methodical, more slower, more methodical approach that can be adapted around your day-to-day living, please check out the following website, which is tdtpro.trade. Within this, you get a breakout strategy, you get a pullback strategy, you get community support, you get weekly webinars, you get training in foreign exchange and stocks, you get watch lists. There's just a lot of information that goes into this. Guys, it's only £99 for a whole month of training. So please check out the following website, which is tdtpro.trade. If you want to connect with me on Facebook, please search for my name. I've got my own Facebook page, which is City Trader Lifestyle. A lot of charts and information that go up on here. Bear with me a second. Okay, so charts and information, etc. Just day-to-day stuff that I get on with. If you're on LinkedIn, I'm very active on LinkedIn as well. Please search for me and add me on LinkedIn. I've got a blog site on medium.com. Medium is a site that's owned by Twitter. Again, I put a lot of information out there, charts that I'm looking at. Some of them are time sensitive, some of them are evergreen, such as this article here. So a combination of stuff going up on this website. If you're on Instagram, search for me on fx.mentor. And yeah, that is everything. Okay, so, and also always Zaheer at zaheeranwari.com for me to send out this ebook to you. Okay, have a wonderful day, have a wonderful end to the week, and I will see you all next week. Thank you, Administrator. Take care. Bye-bye.